Alright, so for this project we're going to create this part here so basically it's just a picture of a part in like an isometric view with all the dimensions laid out for you. We are going to create that in Onshape, and then we're going to create a drawing with it. So right now I'm in Part Studio. There's no assembly needed in this. It's just a regular block of material. I'm going to assign some aluminum as the material, as I indicated in the class assignment. But I may have a different material for you to use. Just check on the assignment requirements. So how I'm going to begin this part is the first thing I kind of want to look at is how is this going to be easily constructed. Okay, so you can approach this in a lot of different ways. I'm gonna call this the front. So if I'm looking at the object, I'm gonna call this the front, and then this is gonna be my side, and then this will be the right side, and then this will be the top. So when I'm drawing that, I want to indicate where am I drawing this, right? Because once I construct the model and create a drawing out of this part, these planes are going to be how the drawing displays the part. So to start, I'm actually just going to create an L shape on the right side. So I'm going to create an L shape on the right side, extrude that out 3 inches. Side note that these are in inches. These are in the imperial system. A quick and easy way to figure that out is typically if there's fractions like half, quarter, eighth, then you kind of know you're in the imperial system. Because metric, you'll have just pretty much whole numbers. They're not going to use fractions. They'll use decimals more often than not. Okay, so first thing I'm going to start is the right side. So it's a 4 by 1.5 L, and then I need to move up a distance of 1 inch, and then I'm going to move back this way. That's going to be 1 inch this way because this is a half inch thick from here, right? That's a half inch thick, and then I'm going to move up the remainder, which is going to be 3, and then half inch to make my L. So to start, I'm going to create a sketch on the right side, and I've decided that this over here is going to be my right side. So while I create this, I'm going to use the origin as the corner. So I'm going to create my L shape, and I just need to get it about, because I'm going to dimension it after. Quickly, just to check your units, I'm going to go in here, look in workspace units, and I am in inch, and that's what I want to be in. Go back into your sketch. I'm going to dimension this out. So dimension, this is going to be half an inch, 0.5. This is going to be 4 inches. This is going to be 1.5 inches. This is going to be 1 inch. And that looks good. So it's a, I'll just move this out here. So it's all black, meaning that it's a fully defined shape. So now I can extrude it. So I'm going to extrude my shape, and I'm going to take a look around, make sure I'm extruding in the right direction. So if this is the right side over here, I need to actually extrude it to the left. If I'm drawing from the right, I need to extrude to the left. So it's gonna be new, and the direction is going to go to the left, and that is going to be a total of 3 inches. And check it off, and I have my L shape, and now I'm going to start creating, I'm going to create a cut here. I'm going to create 2 triangular pieces here and here, and then I'm going to also create a square cut right in the center. So it doesn't really matter where you want to start. I'll start from the square. I'll create the square cut, and again I'm just going to go into sketch. I'm going to select where I'm going to make the cut, which is right here, and then I'm going to make some reference geometry. So, and these are going to be construction lines, so Q line and Q for construction. So that'll be the center line for my square. I'm going to do a center point rectangle, find that middle distance, dimension out, and let's take a look at how thick. So it looks like it's a 1/2 inch, and it looks square, and I'm going to assume that it's square because there's oh, actually yes, over here it says it's a 1/2 inch too, so it is in fact square. So 0.5 and another 0.5, and then extrude, remove, and then I can just through all. So that's the first step. I got my square hole. Now I am going to create this cut here. So if I look in the front, I'm going to create another sketch on here. So sketch here, and I'm just going to kind of draw in this part here. So draw into the kind of freehand in it. Go down, make that horizontal, and then go back up, and then connect the dots. So now I'm going to put in these dimensions. So D for dimension, and this is going to be 1 inch. The top portion, let's see. What is the top portion? Looks like it's a 1/2 on each side. So if it's a 1/2 here, a 1/2 there, this has to be 2. From this point to here is going to be 1. So I know that this is in the middle. From here to here is going to be 0.5. From here to here it's going to be 0.5. Oh, I don't need that one. That'll make it dimension driven because I already did it there. Okay, so I believe that's all that we need to do. So now once you have this, we can go ahead and cut it out. So we're going to remove, and again I'm going to just do the through all, check it off. I have my and just, it's always good habit just to kind of check to make sure I have the correct lengths. So total length, right, is 1, these two parts. Distance away from each other's 2, which is in here. So yeah, so I mean that looks good. And maybe I can take another measure here, make sure that's 1. Okay, so we're good. That looks good. And okay, yeah, I actually did not do the depth. So let's go back into here and make sure that our depth is correct. So depth from here to here. Aha, and that's why it looks a little funky. That needs to be 1 inch as well. So I'm going to type in 1, and it's going to make it a much deeper cut, which looks much more like what's viewed here. So very good. We don't really need these planes right now. So you can click on P to get rid of them if they're kind of in your way. But I don't mind them there for reference. So now the next thing we're going to have to do is extrude a couple triangles. And the triangle starts 1/2 inch in. One of the legs is 1.5 inch. The other leg just goes the complete distance of that L, the top portion of the L, and then so it's gonna go 1 inch this leg, and then 1.5 inches that leg, and then you can just connect the hypotenuse, extrude it out 1/2 inch. So how we will do that is there's a few ways we can do that, but the easiest way, I'm just going to create another plane that's going to be 1/2 inch in. So I'm going to click from this right plane. So I'm actually going to start with this triangle here. I'm assuming symmetry here, and it is in fact symmetrical. So this plane that I'm going to create is going to be 1/2 inch offset from the right, the right plane, and it's going to be 1/2 inch, so 0.5, and it's going to offset in the left direction. Check that off. Now I have this plane here. So I have this plane. I'm going to create a sketch on the plane, and I'm going to use I'm going to convert some entities onto that plane. So select this and then convert entities. So what that does is it takes all these entities and just shifts it over to the plane that you're drawing on. The next thing I'm going to do is create my triangle starting at that point, and just come up here, and then I can dimension it. So from this point to here needs to be my 1.5. So I have that as 1.5. I'm going to extrude not the entire face, but just this portion. And I'm going to extrude that in the left direction, and it is a 1/2 inch. Check it off. So now I have my first triangle. I could definitely do the mirror feature. So rather than have to go through all of building the triangle again, I'm just going to mirror it. So, and to do that, I'm going to get my planes back. I'm going to create another plane, and it'll be a it won't be an offset, but it will be a point plane. So I chose my right plane, I chose the midpoint of my object, check it off. Now I have the plane that I can mirror this feature, this entity from. So I'm going to select mirror, part, entities to mirror, and it's going to be a feature mirror, and it's this feature that I want to mirror. The mirror I want, the plane I want to mirror is this plane here, and I'm going to check it off. And I have my triangle mirrored. So this is part 1 of this project video, and I have my complete setup. I am going to rename my part to multi-view part and I'm going to assign a material to it. So right click, assign material, and this might be different depending on my requirement of what you guys are going to assign. Type in aluminum, check it off. So now it's an aluminum part, and I can check out the mass properties, which I want you guys to do. So click on this little scale feature, and then select your part, and the mass is going to be 0.854 pounds. So if you want, as you can see, if you hover over it, you can get more exact measure. Goes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places, but the 0.854 is fine. Take a screenshot of that mass property and attach it to your assignment, and you should be good. So this is the part. The next video I'm going to go over how to make the drawing of this part.